Have you ever thought about exploring a place that few people dare to go? Mozambique may not be at the top of many travel lists, but it is a hidden gem with a surprising story. Imagine a country with stunning coastlines, vibrant culture, and mysteries that few people have discovered. Despite its beauty, Mozambique remains off the beaten path, and today we're going to reveal why. Join Eagle Discovery to discover 16 amazing facts about this fascinating and underrated destination that might change your perspective. 1. Child bride training. Imagine being just 8 or 9 years old and sent off to a camp, not for summer fun, but to be trained for marriage. In Mozambique, these camps prepare young girls for a future where their innocence is stripped away. Here, they're taught to please their future husbands, with some even forced into intimate acts before they reach puberty. These week-long camps are steeped in tradition, passed down through generations, and are seen as essential for a girl to be accepted into adulthood by her community. Without this initiation, they risk being shunned. The girls are instructed to obey their elders, do household chores, and even learn various sexual positions. They're told that sleeping with a man will cleanse them of their childhood and prevent illnesses. Dancing for entertainment and allowing men to use their bodies is also part of this grim curriculum. Shockingly, these young girls are not educated about the dangers of early pregnancy or sexually transmitted diseases. Once the week is over, they return home, where men are ready to propose marriage. These girls, some as young as 12, face the risk of early pregnancies, with nearly half of them married before they turn 18. What do you think about these practices? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Frequent rhino poaching. Mozambique has faced a tragic history of rhino poaching, especially during the dark days of the 1980s when these majestic creatures nearly vanished due to relentless poaching and war. However, a beacon of hope appeared in 2022 when 27 rare rhinos were reintroduced from South Africa, symbolizing a fresh start in the country's conservation efforts. This initiative shows that Mozambicans understand the crucial role of biodiversity and are committed to saving their wildlife. For years, poachers targeted rhinos for their horns, which fetch astronomical prices on the black market, particularly in places like China and Vietnam, where they are believed to have medicinal properties. Despite efforts to deter poachers by removing or reducing the horns, the killing continued, often before the horns could even regrow. Gorongosa National Park, at the southern end of the African Rift Valley, was also ravaged during the Civil War, with most of its wildlife wiped out. Only about 200 elephants survived. But thanks to extensive restoration efforts, the park's elephant population is slowly recovering, now under the vigilant watch of park rangers. In response to this ongoing crisis, Mozambique has ramped up its conservation measures, increasing patrols, working with international partners, and raising awareness among local communities about the importance of protecting rhinos and all wildlife. 3. Baldness as a symbol of wealth. In many African cultures, appearance is more than just looks. It signifies health, wealth, and social status. In Mozambique, baldness is often seen as a mark of wealth, making bald men targets for criminals. They are at risk of being attacked for superstitious rituals where their organs are believed to bring good luck. Albinos face even graver dangers, often kidnapped or desecrated for similar rituals. There's a disturbing belief that albino body parts possess magical powers, leading to numerous tragic cases in Mozambique. Witch doctors hunt them, using their remains in ceremonies to attract fortune or craft potent medicines. 4. The third highest HIV rate in the world. Mozambique ranks third globally for HIV infection rates, with around 4% of the population affected. Among teenage girls, the rate is 7%, and it climbs to 15% in women aged 25 years. Approximately 2.1 million people live with HIV or AIDS in the country, placing it just behind South Africa and India. The virus is especially prevalent in areas like the capital, Maputo, and along transport routes to neighboring countries. These regions, characterized by rapid economic growth and high migration, are hotbeds for the spread of HIV. Educating sex workers about HIV is a significant challenge, with poverty driving risky behaviors. Alarming statistics reveal that 3 out of 4 truck drivers don't use protection, and a shocking 84% of those who know their HIV status are positive. 5. Struggling infrastructure. Mozambique's infrastructure is underdeveloped. Of its 3,000 kilometers of roads, only 5,600 kilometers are paved, primarily around Maputo and major cities. Traveling beyond these areas requires a 4-wheel drive vehicle. The country also has 31 kilometers of railway serving locals and foreigners. About a third of Mozambicans live in urban centers like Maputo, Beira, and Nampula, while the rest reside in rural areas, often in traditional huts. The most populated rural regions are those with fertile lands, such as the Lurio and Leila river valleys and the lower Limpopo River Valley. Mozambican society revolves around family and community, though the government often opposes traditional practices like polygamy. The regional economy is driven by agriculture and fishing, with over 80% of the population working as farmers. Mozambique's main exports include shrimp, cotton, sugar, citrus fruits, and cashew nuts, in which it is one of Africa's top producers. 6. Beautiful beaches. Mozambique is a paradise of stunning beaches, rich history, and vibrant culture. From tranquil islands with white sandy shores to lively cities adorned with colonial architecture, this country offers something for every traveler. Mozambique Island, once the capital of Portuguese East Africa, is a must-visit, with its cobbled streets, grand churches, and a majestic lighthouse from the 10th century. Ponta do Ouro is another popular destination, especially for South Africans, with its golden beaches and modern resorts, making it an ideal spot for relaxation. In Ponta Mamoli, visitors can explore the wildlife-rich coastline, home to rare sea turtles like the leatherback and hawksbill. Mozambique prioritizes biodiversity conservation to sustain its tourism and protect the environment. The Bazaruto archipelago, starting from Vilanculos, is perfect for snorkeling and swimming in its crystal-clear waters. A day of sailing among these beautiful islands is a highlight of any trip to Mozambique. 7. Frequently affected by natural disasters. Mozambique, one of Africa's poorest nations, is frequently devastated by natural disasters like droughts and cyclones, which cause severe flooding in coastal areas. The country, sparsely populated with most people living along the coast or in the fertile Zambezi River Valley, faces increasing challenges due to climate change. In 2019, back-to-back tropical cyclones, Idai and Kenneth, wreaked havoc, causing massive damage to infrastructure, agriculture, and millions of livelihoods. Climate change is largely to blame for the increased intensity of these storms. The aftermath was catastrophic. Thousands lost their lives, millions were displaced, and up to 531,000 people were affected. The damage to infrastructure has severely hindered Mozambique's recovery and economic growth. 8. Rich cuisine. Mozambique's cuisine is a delightful blend of African, Portuguese, and Indian influences, resulting in truly unique dishes. From freshly caught seafood to flavorful curries spiced with African chilies or Portuguese sauces, the food here is a feast for the senses. While rice is occasionally eaten, grains like maize are more common in daily meals. Shima, a thick maize porridge served with stews, is a staple. Similar to Indian cuisine, mukapada, made from green beans and rice cooked in coconut milk, is another local favorite. Mozambique is famous for its seafood, particularly shrimp, which is best enjoyed in a rich coconut curry. Pair it with matapa, a dish made from cassava leaves, onions, ginger, and peanuts steamed in coconut milk, for a burst of sweet, spicy, and savory flavors. Besides seafood, piri-piri chicken, a national specialty marinated in a fiery sauce of paprika, chili, garlic, and lemon, is a must-try. For something unique, try bolo polana, a dish of mashed potatoes and cashews, often enhanced with vanilla and lemon zest. Being offered bolo polana is a sign of high regard, so savor every bite. Have you tried Mozambique's cuisine? Share your thoughts. 9. The longest suspension bridge in Africa. Did you know Mozambique is home to the longest suspension bridge in all of Africa? This impressive feat of engineering, known as the Maputo-Katembe Bridge, was inaugurated on June 25, 2018, right on the country's Independence Day. It's a massive project, costing about $750 million, and was a joint effort between Mozambique and China, with the design coming from a German company called Galf Engineering. The bridge stretches 3 kilometers and has 4 lanes, making it a vital connection between the capital, Maputo, and the city of Katembe, across Maputo Bay in the Indian Ocean. Before the bridge was built, the journey around the bay used to take about 9 hours by car, but now it's just a 4-hour drive. The bridge also made a big difference for locals who used to rely on ferries. Plus, the Maputo-Katembe Bridge isn't just practical. It's a towering structure with 2 massive 137-meter-high concrete towers. It even rises 60 meters above the bay, allowing ships to pass underneath and reach the international port of Maputo. Pretty cool, right? 10. Rich wildlife. Mozambique is like a paradise for wildlife lovers, thanks to its long coastline and vast tropical forests. This country is one of Africa's most biodiverse spots, hosting a wide range of unique and rare species. You can find everything from majestic elephants and rhinos to lions, leopards, and a variety of birds, reptiles, and fish. Some of the country's national parks and reserves are home to endangered species like the Galata baboon and the black and white colobus monkey. But while the wildlife here is breathtaking, it can also be a bit dangerous. Nile crocodiles, for example, are known to attack people, especially women and children, who come to rivers to fetch water or bathe. There are also venomous snakes that locals need to be wary of. Despite these dangers, Mozambique's conservation areas are a big draw for tourists. Over 12% of the country is covered by these areas, including 6 national parks and 6 game reserves. The largest of them all is the Niassa National Reserve, where you can go on safaris and witness lions, leopards, elephants, buffaloes, zebras, wild dogs, and more in their natural habitat. 11. Mozambique's very young population. Here's an interesting fact. Mozambique has a very young population. As of 2023, the median age in the country is just 17.2 years. This means half of the population is younger than that. If we break it down, males have a median age of 16.6 years, while for females, it's 17.8 years. To put it into perspective, nearly half of the country's 30 million people are under the age of 15. But here's the thing. Despite having so many young people, Mozambique still struggles to provide enough support for its youth. UNICEF reports that the country has some of the worst social indicators for children and adolescents, especially girls, due to limited access to resources and harmful cultural practices. The high infant mortality rate and low life expectancy add to the challenges. Globally, the median age varies a lot, from around 15 years in places like Uganda and Gaza to over 40 years in countries like Japan and those in Europe. In Mozambique, 2/5 of the population are under 15 and 3/4 are under 30. That's a lot of young people. What do you think about this? It's something to ponder, isn't it? 12. Music is essential. Music runs deep in Mozambique, blending Western and African influences into a vibrant and unique sound. One of the most popular musical styles is marabenta, which emerged in the 1950s. Imagine this. The first marabenta songs were played on guitars made from oil or gasoline cans. How creative is that? The lyrics often touched on political themes, offering a subtle way to criticize the government during the colonial period. Marabenta isn't just music, it's a dance that people across the country enjoy. But the music scene in Mozambique is incredibly diverse. Each region has its own unique sound, like timbala, a traditional style played on a wooden xylophone. This style is especially cherished in rural communities, where it's been preserved and continues to thrive. Over time, Mozambique's music has evolved, creating new genres like Afro-jazz, reggae, and hip-hop, adding a modern and youthful vibe to the rich musical heritage. Artists like Gimbo have taken marabenta beyond Mozambique, bringing it to international audiences and showing the world just how special Mozambican music is. The influence of marabenta even stretches as far as Brazil, where it inspired the Maxix dance, and it has also impacted music scenes in places like Cuba and New York. It's amazing how a style born out of creativity and resistance has resonated globally. 13. The flag with an AK-47. Here's something you might find surprising. Mozambique's national flag is the only one in the world that features a modern weapon, a bold and unique symbol of the country's history. Adopted on May 1, 1983, this flag prominently displays an AK-47 rifle. When Mozambique gained independence in 1975, the flag's colors were rearranged to form the design we see today. In the triangle at the flag's left corner, you'll find a white gear holding a hoe, a rifle, a book, and a star. Each element has deep meaning. Green represents the fertile land, white stands for peace, black symbolizes Africa, yellow highlights the country's mineral resources, and red honors the struggle for independence. The rifle on the flag symbolizes national defense and security, representing the long fight for freedom and independence from Portuguese colonial rule. The open book is a nod to the importance of education, while the hoe signifies agriculture, a key part of Mozambique's identity. The star, once a symbol of Marxism, now represents internationalism and the broader connections Mozambique has with the world. This flag is more than just a symbol. It's a powerful reminder of the nation's journey and resilience. 14. Abundant oil and natural gas resources. Mozambique is sitting on a gold mine of natural resources, literally. The discovery of vast offshore oil and natural gas reserves along the northern coast has opened up new opportunities for the country. Major global energy companies have taken notice, and this has led to significant investments in the region. These liquefied natural gas projects are expected to bring in huge revenue, helping to fund infrastructure projects and improve living conditions for Mozambicans. However, with these developments come challenges. The exploration and extraction activities have taken a toll on the environment, especially in conservation areas like Quirimbas National Park. Precious coral reefs, mangroves, and other marine ecosystems are under threat, and the social impact has been severe as well. Thousands of local residents have been displaced from their homes to make way for these energy projects, and agricultural land and fishing areas have been reduced, leading to food insecurity and loss of income for many communities. The arrival of multinational companies has also increased pressure on public services like healthcare and education and driven up the cost of goods. On top of all that, Mozambique faces the looming threat of climate change. Exploiting fossil fuels will only increase greenhouse gas emissions, making the country even more vulnerable to extreme weather events like droughts, floods, and storms. These challenges are significant, but the hope is that with careful planning and sustainable practices, Mozambique can find a way to balance economic growth with the well-being of its people and the planet. 15. Cashew nuts as a major export crop. Cashew nuts are a big deal in Mozambique, and by 2024, the country is expected to produce a whopping 160,000 tons. Back in 2020, Mozambique's cashew production hit 139,900 tons, and for much of the last century, it was the world's top producer. Did you know that Mozambique opened Africa's first ever cashew processing plant in 1960? Although production took a hit after independence in 1975, it's now making a strong comeback. Today, over 1 million Mozambican families are involved in growing and selling cashews, and the processing industry provides jobs for more than 8,000 workers. In just the first half of 2024, Mozambique's cashew exports brought in $53 million, making cashews the leading agricultural export for the country. It's incredible to see how this tiny nut is making such a huge impact on the nation's economy. 16. Over 80 languages spoken. Mozambique is a melting pot of cultures, and this diversity is especially reflected in the languages spoken throughout the country. Can you believe that more than 80 different languages are used daily in Mozambique? It's like a linguistic treasure trove. Some of the most widely spoken indigenous languages include Emakua, Shangayana, Sena, Elomwe, and Chisena. Most people in Mozambique speak languages from the Niger-Congo language family, particularly Bantu languages like Emakua, Zitswa, Elomwe, and Chisena. But that's not all. Portuguese, a legacy from the colonial era, is now the country's official language, with about 50% of the population able to speak it, especially in urban areas. And let's not forget Swahili, a language with deep historical roots, especially along the coast. Swahili, which means coast, has been a common language for trade and cultural exchange across East and Central Africa for centuries. The rich tapestry of languages in Mozambique truly highlights the country's vibrant and diverse culture. We've just taken a fascinating journey through 16 intriguing facts about Mozambique. Which one surprised you the most? Have you ever had the chance to visit this beautiful country? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on our future content. See you in the next video of Eagle Discovery.